At the end of a previous video, I did say that this was going to be the last video. That's going to be incorrect now. What I'm going to witness here is going to be like part 8, and then the following video after that is going to be all endings. But I want to do some investigations in this game in my own spare time beforehand, so that I'm able to find as many of the endings as I can before looking up the walkthrough that Memories of Fear have provided. So how do we go about this? Escape from DO33 until the allotted time passes. Okay. So how are we going to do that? Timely then. So I would say stick to the outside, but also do not, and I say this, do not allow yourself to go too far away from it, otherwise it will cut corners. Just like S001, no sorry, D001 or S001. Earlier in the game, remember that one? I tried to go too far ahead and I literally just kept dying because I kept going too far away from it. Oh. Either this monster was moving slower than it was before, or I'm going crazy. If this pace keeps up, I'll have this in the bag. Well, considering that it's been subject to a few blows from Enri, crushed by a pressing machine, and dropped from a giant height, even a monster like this can't walk away from all that unscathed. But of course it would, wouldn't it now? Its regenerative abilities. I guess break time's over. Come on and bring it, you freak of nature. It's not even a freak of nature, it's a freak of mankind. Catch me if you can. Hold on until the allotted time passes. Do we have a timer on screen to certify? Okay, so it's going to have charges then, won't it? Okay, yep, it has charges, It's trying to be sneaky by staying on top. Oh, now it's coming to the side, okay. Always just circle around the map. Don't ever try and go to the center, otherwise it may try and turn around. Damn it! That monster suddenly got faster! The difficulty keeps going up. Hold on until the allotted time passes. So now we need to be even more cautious then. Okay, we need to go at full speed now. Oh no, it's closing the gap on me, no! That is so bad after all that time. No, you can't lose momentum in that last phase, otherwise you just go... Okay, that is the phase where you do need to go around in the small circles rather than trying to go around the big circles. What the... How is that fair? Like, how do you even maneuver out of that scenario? Do you have to try and just get away from it as fast as possible? Like, it just ran off and then just suddenly sprinted to a point where you can't even outrun it. Wasn't this entertaining? It has charge attacks. You just... It was on the top right, and it teleported down to the bottom right. There is a difficulty curve in this third phase that needs to be dampened down, Nama, because that is BS right there. I'm getting pretty tired. No, how much longer does she need? Ebel! Oh, it's coming from Neon's piece of Neon's true body. Wait, why is it on me? We can talk about that later. Ebel, listen carefully. I just finished unlocking all of the doors. That's great news, Nguyen. There is still one last thing, but only you can do it. What is that? Ebel, there are 9 switches by you that you have to manually press. Of course. Oh. Question mark. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! Just when I got past that near impossible third phase, that thing is too close to you when it spawns. A way to lightly fix this difficulty curve is to introduce a save option for each phase of this, because it means that going back to this point is less strenuous. I do love the selected piece of music for this particular scene though. It's a mixture of rock, piano, guitar, and a bit of orchestra as well. We hear the voices hurrying. Knowing the mechanics of the AI is half a battle. Your timing when it comes to pressing different keys is the other half of the story. Here we go. 9 switches. Ebel, are you alright? I'm still alive, but I didn't know in. I pressed all of the switches. Yes, I confirmed it. Now follow us, Ebel. Oh? You escaped. Ebel, all of the doors to the exit are now open. Let's get out of here. But they'll be coming towards you. I'm all for getting the hell out of this place. But what do we do about this monster? If it gets out, it will pose a danger to the royal capital. There has to be something we can do, right? My apologies, but I do not think there is a way. So there's nothing we can do. But it is better to run away than to die in here. Now what to do? If we escape without giving it any thought, we'll only be bringing this monster out with us. I've been asking myself how they managed to keep a monster like this contained inside the building up to this point. But it's a good point, actually. Good to raise that, because how did they contain it originally? Is there some kind of trick to it that Oliver's been employing? Regardless as it stands now, Naren's currently overwhelmed, and Enri has already proven to not be a match against it either. We could just knock it down to the depths, but it will just climb back up again. Not to mention it'll be a lot of work and likely put us all at risk to merely knock it down below it in the first place. Is there anything else we can do? Damn it, I guess we're screwed, huh? Ebel, hurry! Yep, hurry indeed. Gah! Enri, Nguyen, Emma, run for the exit! Yeah, all we're doing is delaying then. Oh, Enri? What are you gonna do? Don't you dare do it, Enri. Okay. Enri, come on. And that switch, what do you think of doing? There we go. I didn't realise there was a button there. There is. Great, that'll buy us some time. Look at all those gas canisters there. Huh? Do you want me to help you? What am I saying? You've got an idea, so of course you need all the help you can get. But we're running out of time, Enri. What do you want me to do? Those gas canisters. Got it. Yeah, these gas canisters over in the corner. Okay, I get it. You want us to put those in front of the shutters. Let's do this. Oh gosh, it's heavy. And there's only 6 more to heave ho. And right on to the next set. Yep, and the last ones. But how are you going to ignite them though? That's the problem. Finally they're all in place. Now what do we do, Enri? We get away from here? I don't get it, but okay. Let's get out of here. You're going to use your axe again to ignite up the gas itself. Oh. And... oh. You free your axe there. Aha. That bright light is so enlightening. It's like we've never seen the sun in our entire lives by being in here for so long. Oh, something to those eyes. No, there's resolve in those eyes. Will it stop it though? That's a lot of damage. And smoke. Something month, something day of something year at 7 AM. On that day, a cloud of black smoke rose into the morning sky above the royal capital. More explosions. A series of explosions destroyed the entrance where we escaped. Now no one can get in or come out. It was during that same time, the royal capital knights who were tasked to subjugate the giant spiders saw black smoke and they decided to rush over. They surrounded the building once they got there. Apparently it seems that no one was allowed to go inside due to the pressure from the upper echelons of the city. Later, the giant spider infestation that occurred in the slum district became known to the public when several members of the upper class were implicated as potential suspects behind the attacks. Naturally, it's all a ploy by the upper echelons to convince the commoners that they weren't doing anything. Because the 4 of us know who is truly the mastermind behind it all. Oliver G. Lobelia. But he mentioned that he is not the top dog of Lobelia. He is just a part of Lobelia, which means that there has to be another game after Purgatory 2. Like, there's just too much going on to say that this would be the final game in the Purgatory series. His name never once appeared to the public, not even rumours of existence were uttered, because, according to the school, according to the few people that knew him, he just disappeared. Several hours had passed since the black smoke started to rise. We managed to arrive at a shelter in a deserted downtown location without anyone seeing us. Of course, we had already procured some clothes when I was thinking that, are we going to procure some clothes for her or not? The upper echelons will want to erase this truth from existence if anyone knew it. That is why we were convinced our lives would be in danger. Apparently, at the same time when Neon stopped DO44, she also deleted all the footage and stopped the security cameras from operating. As a result, I could return to my everyday, mundane life. Just as soon as the turmoil of the incident subsided, the royal capital itself was unsaved, thanks to the might of their knights, so the citizens were able to return to their normal lives without second thought. However, I later found out that the slums had suffered a great deal of damage. That said, I think it's a miracle we survived from the deep malice of Purgatory and escaped. And for Enri, she escaped from Purgatory again. I do not know how the people behind Lobelia are faring through this all. It may appear to them as though they have lost one of their executives amidst the chaos, especially when there are still many other executives within Lobelia that are of the same position as Oliver. So the experiment behind making demons is likely far from over. Indeed, there is much more work that needs to be done to eradicate Lobelia. I know that, somewhere out in this world, there are countless people who are becoming victims to their malice. And that is why I truly believe that they know nothing but endless malice. Purgatory 2. This was a brilliant game. One of the most fun games I've played in a good amount of time. I can't remember a game which has a huge mix of comedy, chaos, horror, gore, and just a nice selection of characters. It's not like the main cast of characters are a big amount like they would say in Misao, where every character has very minimal context behind them because there's so many of them to explore, but it's like it's trying to divide 100% by 10 or 12. I forgot how many there were, but in this game there are only about 4 main characters. There's Ebel, Enri, Neon, as we learn later on in the game, Emma, Oliver, then there's Lucas as well, who died. Okay, so this... Okay. I was wondering when this was going to continue, but I should have to simply press and stuff. Usually credits go automatically. Sound effects. I'm not going to try and pronounce all of his names, by the way. Character map, sprite ships, other sprite ships, illustration, portrait backgrounds, game engine, Wolf RPG editor, Purgatory 2 English version translator, the team that is behind Memories of Fear. Thank you for playing. Ah, hell yeah. So which ending do we get in this outcome? Is there like a epilogue to this tale? Oh, we've got a save slot here. Good, good, good. I suppose it's good if you want to just witness the endings. The next day at 11 AM. Ooh. You look traumatized. So, you guys called me out here. What kind of gathering is this? Ebel! You made it! And you don't have any tentacles on you. That's great, Neon. Is this a meeting for demons only? Or is this a girls' outing? But wait, I'm here, so maybe a co-ed party? I've never been to a co-ed party before. So can I go home now? Absolutely not. School's cancelled today due to all the chaos yesterday, so I need to go home and study. Absolutely not. But I'm tired from everything that happened yesterday, so absolutely not. This girl is code to only say, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You are staying here, mister. My bad. You know, I actually left my wallet home and that is obviously a lie. Besides, even if it were true, Enri is covering for us anyway. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, but they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure... You cannot run from us, demons. God damn it. So go ahead and have a seat. Fine. Where's Emma in all this? So, what do you guys want to talk to me about, since you pulled me into this restaurant and all? Actually, I think I might know. Does it have something to do with Lobelia? That is always a concern, but it's not quite that. If that's the case, does it have something to do with Emma? Did something happen? How aware are you of her situation? All I know is that after we made it out of there in our stay at the shelter yesterday, I just totally crashed. So what I know is very little. I had heard that Emma was taken straight to the Noble Hospital, but that's the extent of what I heard. I don't know anything more than that. Then allow me to tell you what transpired yesterday. Oh, that girl. She was actually injected with some specialization model type demon cells from DO38. Hold on, just what does that mean? Is that a bad thing? Relax. Last night on that evening we escaped. Enri and I snuck into the hospital and met with her. That is when I took out all of the demon cells in her body. Is that so? Then I'm glad you did that. So what would have happened to Emma if we just left those cells in there? That girl would have become a D-type. Seriously? Well, as I thought, Oliver's malice really knows no bound. It disgusts me. Then what about Lobelia itself? What's going to happen to the place now that we've escaped? I am certain that Lobelia will be making some sort of move, but I could not hazard a guess as to what that is. However, I can tell you that the upper echelons within the royal capital are quickly mobilizing to respond. As to the building we've escaped from, that area has become strictly off limits, so no one can get near it. I see. It's starting to look like this country and Lobelia really are in cohorts with each other, isn't it? I am sure of it. Figures. It is based solely on conjuncture, but due to Oliver attempts to bring me to the surface in order to destroy the entire kingdom, I am convinced that Lobelia has already abandoned the royal capital. Yep, that's a high probability. Then is there anything that we should be doing on our end? Not particularly. I have already dealt with any evidence that could be used to identify us or end up being a hindrance to us. So the probability of this country coming after us is close to nil. That's good to hear. Except we are talking about this in a public place. Then again, everybody is already busy within their conversations. That's good to hear. To be honest, that was one of my biggest worries. That reminds me. So I guess there's nothing wrong with me going back to my regular routine, as if nothing's ever happened. That is so like you, Ebel. Come to think of it, Neon, you don't have a place to live. How about you stay with Enri? No. What about the slums? The place Enri lived up till now was in the slum district. Now with the spiders occupying the area, no one can go near it. In addition, it seems the underground tunnels are buried under large masses of flesh. It's impassable. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that. If we are to believe them, the Royal Capital Knights are preparing to exterminate the area. But we do not know how long that will take. Then how about the Royal Capital? It is doing alright. I have heard they have mobilized a lot of troops. I see. Now that you mention it, I think I saw an article about it in today's morning paper, but I didn't have much time to read it. So getting back to our previous topic, where will you live, Neon? About that, I actually have a great idea. What is this idea of yours? Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Is it going to be about Ebel's place? It's going to be Ebel's place, isn't it? In the back alley of the royal capital. Oh. What the heck is this place? Neon's Specialist Pharmacy. What? Ta-da! Neon's Specialty Pharmacy. My very own apothecary shoppy. I figured if I opened a shoppy here, all of our money problems would be solved. But how did you get the money in the first place? I have just one question. How did you get this place? It was a vacant house. That's called squatting. Now this brings more questions. Do you have a permit to sell goods? Do you have a license to practice medicine? Do you even know the particulars of the drugs you're selling? You do remember that Neon absorbed a lot of people's memories and knowledge and flesh. Surely within some of those they would have knowledge about medicine making. I do not have a seller's permit, and I am not a licensed pharmacist either. As for drugs, my cells will be incorporated into them. They will instill the taker with super strong antibodies. Yet they are also super safe to... Well, I saw nothing and heard nothing. Time to go home. That's not happening. Get out of my way. I don't want to be involved in this. It is going to be alright. It is going to be alright. Leave me be. Neon, please, I'm begging you. I don't want to be in a company... Enri. Enri? Please let me go. She's too strong. I'm scared. Now then, Ebel. Let us go inside. Enri? Neon? I won't forget this betrayal. So is this a bad end? Doesn't feel right, in a way. Oh my gosh, he's got no eye pupils. There's nothing here. I was so busy yesterday, but I've not really got anything set up yet. You dragged me all this way to just show me this, so this ended up being a waste of my time. Well then, welcome to my shoppy. Please feel free to look around, or something like that. Not a care in the world, even though what you're doing is illegal. Well, if anything, maybe we could use this as a base of operations. Yes, I think so, too. The location is not bad. It should serve as well as a place for base activities. Just be careful not to get shut down by the knights. Yeah, you want to raise suspicion, don't you? For goodness sakes. Like, you may be knowledgeable, Neon, but for goodness sakes, you lack some common sense. I'm still a bit worried. Well, if there's anything I can do to help, don't be afraid to ask. Though I'm not sure how I'd be of any use. Now then, how are things going with you, Enri? Everything's fine on your end? That actually reminds me. I actually don't know anything about Enri. I could start by asking her about her family. Maybe I shouldn't. It might be considered improper. Well then, what should I do? What should one do? Bonus? Call this a bonus. I don't think anything could be done if we do that. If we override this save file. Why not? Data 20. So this is definitely an ending CG of sorts. It has Enri there smiling. But it also says end there, but we can't tell what kind of end that is. It's like if it's got a, what do they have those on motherboards which have a similar kind of small rectangular grey base to them? It's like chips, microchips? I'm unsure. Enri, there's so many questions I want to ask you, but is now a good time? It's hard for me to read what a person's thinking without asking them a question first. Even more so in Enri's case, who cannot speak, I have to rely on visual cues such as eye contact, facial expressions, movements, and breathing. It's harder than it sounds. It would have been easier if I were an S and had telepathic powers. So, ESP powers. Hey, Neon. Yes? I have a question. Where did you get the money to do this? Enri lent me it. Enri, is she loaded or something? It seems like it. Yeah, she does come also from a rich family. How does Enri have the means to obtain that much money? Yes, that is a big old question. Where to next? Huh? Are you going back home already, Ebel? Actually, before I do that, Enri, would you come with me for a moment? Where are you two going? Oh, Neon. Would you like to come along too? I'll catch up with you two later. Ah, okay. but would you know where to go? My cells are inside Enri, so I always know where she would be at. I see. Well then. Alright, Enri. I'm sorry to ask this, but could you lead the way? She looks a little concerned by that. Ah, this place. This is where Enri lives. So this is your parents' home, huh? It is a magnificent mansion. As I recall, the head of this house is Lord Chew McLaury. Then that would make Enri a noble as well. And speaking of House Laurie... Ah, it's because there's something I'd like to check out. Do you mind if I come inside? Not. Okay. And you're able to open the gates. And open the gates. Okie pokey. Thanks. Where is everyone? They've evacuated, haven't they? What? This entire place is empty? Then where are your parents? So you don't know. You want us to go to your old room? Sure, it's certainly better than standing around here. Shall we go? Yep. What is Enri thinking? So this is your old room? Oh, that's right. Let me tell you why I want to come here. I would like to personally speak to your father, Lord Laurie, but there's not much I can do if he's not here. Sir Enri. So I've heard that House Laurie's reputation has fallen low amongst the other nobles. However, the militant noble house has been widely known amongst the commoners as being an upright traditional family, until 6 years ago. You're right. During that time, all of the projects most of the nobles, including House Laurie, were working on, were stopped at about the same time. This information was published in the Royal Capital's newspaper 6 years ago. I had no idea what was going on at the time, but it's not hard to imagine what the cause was after seeing what was happening underground. Yeah, 6 years ago, Lobelia launched their full-scale operation to try to get their hands on as many nobles as they could. Does that seem right to you? However, not all of the nobles were willing to join ranks with Lobelia, including this family, House Laurie for one. Even now, they haven't been consumed by Lobelia. Isn't that right? I'm glad to hear that. By the way, when you said your parents aren't here, you meant any parental figures at all, right? I see. Just as I thought. Do not fear, for I am here. I'm not sure whether to fear or be happy. Nguyen, you're here as well? I was bored being by myself, so that's why I'm here. So you had some time to kill, huh? It is not that I have some time to kill, it was just that I had nothing to do. That's literally what some time to kill means. But it's good that you came. We were just in the middle of a conversation. So, let me try starting from the beginning so you can... No need for that. I was listening to the entire conversation through Enri. What? Have I not told you? I can sense what Enri is feeling, hearing, seeing, tasting, and smelling. Everything gets transmitted to me. Hey, have you ever heard of a Privacy Act? And, shall we continue our conversation? If Enri's parents aren't around, then there's no point in continuing this topic. For now, I want to summarize our current situation. Let me say this as of now. Despite setbacks, the Royal Capital is still under the thumb of Lobelia loyalists. After seeing what was happening below ground, I don't think it's an unreasonable leap to make that conclusion. There is no question that this evil organization repeatedly conduct inhumane experiments. So the biggest problem we have is the Royal Capital. If Lobelia has been conducting such experiments right underneath the city, then the conclusion we must draw is that the Royal Capital must condone such acts, right? And furthermore, it's a known fact that criminals from all over the world are being brought here. Even now, I don't know for sure what's going on, but based on the extreme lengths the city is willing to go for Lobelia's benefit, it's a safe assumption that Lobelia has all but absorbed Royal Capital into their organization. That's what I think the current state of the city is like. I can't even guess what the nobles are currently thinking. That's it for the topic. So now we need to decide what we're going to do. The way I see it, we have three options in front of us. Our first option is to fight Lobelia, the second is to pretend nothing has happened, and the third is to flee the royal capital. To put it simply, it is putting it super simply. As for me, I'm leaving the royal capital far behind me. I don't plan to die until I'm a nice, ripe old age. Then I will fight Lobelia. You too, Enri? Then we're on the same team. Hooray! It is 2 votes against 1, that means we're going to fight. Lobelia, join us in battle. I don't have any demonic capabilities. I don't expect what you're going to think. Hold on a moment. Who says anything about majority rules? Also, don't make my decisions for me. No sweat. Super complicated decisions like this are best decided on a whim. Our lives hang in the balance here. This is exactly the sort of decision that isn't made on a whim. Besides, if we do choose to fight Lobelia, what are even our odds of winning? Who knows? So not only have you not bothered to calculate our odds, but you haven't even formed a plan of any sort at all. Thanks a whole lot for nothing, damn it! You are correct. I honestly have no idea what will happen. But we will be in this together, Enri. You two are sure motivated. Naturally. Are you both serious about this? Oh well, looks like you put me in quite a predicament. You know what? I think I got it. I'll be so busy helping the two of you that there won't be an opportunity for me to die. As thanks to both of you for saving my hide countless times. I'll stick by you both as much as I can. Hooray! Three cheers for Ebel. I feel like I've made a grave error in my life choices. You made a grave error when you decided to go into a back alley to then intervene with Emma for the first time. Like, I think that in itself is a grave mistake, because that was how you initially went down to Purgatory in the first place. What's going to happen to me now? If only there was a simpler way to handle this. Like, if we could just brainwash the important figures of the royal capital. That'd make it a clinch to get the information we need, along giving us an easy way to manipulate the entire country. If we could somehow pull that off, I wonder if that'd give us enough power and influence to crush Lobelia. With that, we'll be able to ensure world peace, right? So, I was mumbling aloud to myself, if you need brainwashing, I think I'm able to achieve that. What? No, please don't. No. On that day, I was reminded once more of the horrifying abilities of demons. Nguyen told us that. She's going to enact a plan with her apothecary Shoppy and raise its reputation to become extremely popular with the public. If the word spreads enough, even the nobles will take an interest in it. Once that happens, we'll have them all in the palm of our hands. Nguyen's specialty pharmacy will be in high demand among the nobility. Once the medicine begins to spread with everyone, we'll only brainwash the key figures. And that'll be that. Once everything is in place, it will signal the beginning of a war we'll wage between us and Lobelia. Nguyen is terrifying. So, throughout all of these endeavours, we got to the point in the game where, out of the probably near 10 endings that you can get in the game, we got end 1. Like, what are the odds of that? End 1. The first ending that was probably written out by the developer. End 1, preparations for the start of war. Lovely days. Okay. This has been a brilliant game, but this is far from over. In fact, we're probably only about, like, half the way through this game, if you can call this a completionist route, which I am planning on doing with this game. Like, I'm planning to get all of the endings of this game, but I don't want to just show the endings themselves. I want to show the pre-requirements to get to each end, and in a way I want to do that in a methodical sense, where I play through the game multiple times, I examine each of the different specifications individually, and do that multiple times, so that then I will be able to say that if you make this choice, you are locked into these different endings. If you go... that was weird. If you go into this choice, then that will lead to another kind of end. Like, there are a few optional things to do in the game. Like, number one, in the kind of tubey place where we escaped from the master flesh that was housing DO29 at the point in time in which before it had a name, there was an optional dialogue scene where it kind of just depicted for Ebel's questioning of Enri's restored arm, and therefore Ebel wants to touch Enri's arm, and then from there it kind of activated something. But there's nothing romantic at all in this game. It's like you can subtly see that it's there, but it's nothing direct. So I really like the outcome of what happened here. There is, hold on, let me just go to the Memories of Fear. They have a walkthrough posted up, and let me just get back to a brighter screen. There we go. We have a walkthrough, and it has, let's see, bad end, end 1, end 2, end 5, end 6, true end route, and then there's end 3 and end 4. So in total, there are 8 endings, 6 normal endings, 1 bad ending, and 1 true ending. But to get to the true ending, I believe we must examine every single optional dialogue piece that there is within this game, but also at the same time looking through the game itself and be able to determine which course of actions will lead to the true outcome. Now, what exactly is this true outcome? I want to keep that as a surprise for myself, and when we get to that point, I will hopefully be able to show you guys all of it. Like, I think aside from the true end, I think in the next and final video will be endings that I've already witnessed myself, but for you guys it will probably be the first time, or maybe the second time for you, probably because you've already played through this game for yourselves and you've seen all of the different outcomes, but you want somebody else's perspective of this game. And I've loved this game. It's such a popular RPG horror game. I don't know why it is, but it has its own dedicated fan base to this series. And thank you so much to Memories of Fear for translating this game, and I would love to see more translated games of the Purgatory series in the future, but I can only surmise about how much work goes into translating a game, because it's not just putting words from Japanese into English, it's putting all those words together in a huge one massive string and making sure it all makes sense. So I've loved this game so far, and even though I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I'll be showing like the different spots I've missed out, I think I'll save that for the actual all endings video in itself. But I don't think I'm going to be doing any more like just random plays, like going through a game for the first time, because I think your first experience of the game itself is definitely the freshest, the most unknown, the most surprising, and the most revitalizing. So I always love those evil red eyes of Enri. I've always wondered at the beginning of the game if Enri is going to be a villain or a hero, and in this case it's definitely a hero, but there might be other outcomes in which Enri is probably a villain, and probably even Neon too is a villain as well. Like, there could be other paths where your decision in the spider layer actually goes against Enri and therefore goes against Neon, because those two have a symbiotic link, like in this demon hierarchy where Enri is level 8 and Neon 2 is, Neon 2 is level 12. So it's either their power levels or their positions in the demon hierarchy, and level 1 could be like just human, they're not a demon at all. While Emma, very temporarily throughout the playthrough that I did, was probably going to be at a level 2 or something, because it's just the beginnings of the emergence going from human to demon. But obviously Neon and Enri snuck into the hospital at night and eradicated the demon cells out of Emma. But that ending has a question of what transpired after for Emma in the hospital. Like, what was her condition and all that? Like, she was obviously traumatized by the events of Purgatory 1. But now there's Purgatory 2 within all of that, and that was a much longer, larger experience for both Emma and the other characters. So we're going to leave it here now, folks. It won't be a video which will just be conjured up for, let's say, tomorrow for me. It's going to be a few days, but also want to check out other games as well while I'm doing my thing as a let's play. And there have been games which I've ignored because the popularity of this game got me so hyped, as well as the love of this game, but I just continue to play this game and only this game. I've got visual novels I want to play and another RPG Maker game called Osteoblast as well, which I have thoroughly neglected. I do apologise to anybody who is looking out for that game as well, which I started playing but I haven't continued playing for about a week at the time of this recording. Anyways, that's enough me rambling on about, folks. Thank you so much for watching this series. Thank you to everyone who has commented, liked the video, just watched throughout it. And if you've found a lot of enjoyment throughout this Let's Play series, either through my Let's Play or through another person who's done a Let's Play throughout this game like Manny Badass Hero, then just leave a nice comment for any of us content creators. Leave a nice comment for the translators who translated this game, and leave a nice comment for Nama who developed this game. Thank you very much, and take care of yourselves.